Welcome back, Gaming for XP, part 2 of the Valentine's Detective Agency. Let's get building. So welcome back to Starlight. We made quite a lot of progress in the part 1 of the first video, and let's just do some more refinement today. Yes, I know that door is backwards, but it doesn't bother me too much. I do faff around here trying to fix the door and just give up. There we go. Doesn't really matter, it opens. So first up, we're just going to do some fine tuning with our decorating, and then we'll do a little bit of building. So here we go, all kinds of menus. So I just wanted to spare you walking through the menus. Lots of menus to get through and lots of little details. I love the look of this office. It's just better than I could expect it. So here's a little thing that you can do that I'm trying. Just stack the boxes up on this little trolley here. Just why not? There you go. Plop, plop, plop. Looks very effective. Just something that I figured out all by my lonesome. Look at that. Ooh, it needs to be shifted just a little bit across. There you go. Done. Look at that. What else should we add? So this is just a case of going around and adding bits and pieces where, it's good to just have a little bit of a break. If you're struggling a little bit, and then come back and fresh eyes. And just add odds and ends here. Just to see what we can put in here. And I think with Nick's place, there's nothing that you really have to have. I think that's ironic. I was going to put that no smoking in there, given that there's a cigarette machine, but I think I do at one point. So, yep, definitely have an exit sign. Looks good. And so I'm just looking to fill up lots of bits and pieces. I think here, or at some point fairly soon, I'm looking for the Valentine's Detective Agency sign. There they are. Not that one, that one. Okay, so we'll go outside. Whoa, got a bit of a frame rate drop there. There we go. Look at that. Fantastic. Nice neon sign. And there's another one that says Detective. Beautiful. Those lights above, I've got to change. They're just too bright. I wanted a nice dim look in there. They're just too bright. Look at that. That looks fantastic. I'm loving it already. The building looks a bit ordinary at the moment, but we will fix that. And also that front porch area. I think if I was building... Let's fix the lights first. I want something that's just a little bit dimmer. There we go. That actually gives less light. I think that works much better. Yeah, I like that. And you can see lights, if you make the right light choice, it can make a huge difference to your overall look. So because we're building at night, I'll have upped the brightness a little bit here just so we can see what we're doing. And I think we should put a foundation piece in here. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. So I'm looking at those walls, they look very ordinary. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can kind of scrap them up or make them look a little bit more scrappy. And I think if you were going to do this, if you're going to build Valentine's Detective Agency, I really think it's a thought that I've had that you possibly might, a good idea is to have a very similar situation to Diamond City, where you had a boardwalk going along and a series of houses, shops, businesses going along here. I've built this on my own, but I'm seriously thinking of putting a series of buildings along here, or a series of buildings somewhere, and redoing this and just seeing what it looks like. Not recreating Diamond City as such, but recreating the feel of Diamond City more than anything. So here I'm just looking for different wall pieces to put to glitch it in and just change the overall look of the walls here. If you've ever been to Diamond City, you would see this quite a bit. So you can see I'm just trying to glitch it in so it just sits outside the wall. It's partly inside, partly outside. Here we go. Do the same on this side. And I'm seriously thinking about doing a video. I've noticed just lately there's been a lot of comments around various forums and Reddit and whatnot with people that are new to Fallout, and they really haven't they really don't know how to get the full potential of the game by glitching. And I've seen a lot of comments just lately about how do I glitch, what do I use. So I'm seriously thinking about doing a video on that. So if you think it's a good idea, please leave me a comment. I know if you've been using Fallout and building in Fallout for a while, you would know exactly how that works. But there's a lot of people that are, and it's good to hear that people are still new to the game and new to building. So seriously thinking of just sharing some of my tips. For a long time, and I didn't have Place Anywhere and never used it. And even when I did actually eventually get it, it was a long time before I started using it consistently. So I used a lot of pillars and rugs and all kinds of stuff, scaffolding. So if you think that's a good idea, please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And I'd love to hear also, ideas for more builds. What would you like to see? It's this is great. I watch a lot of different people that do builds, and I don't want to copy them, but I certainly do get some ideas and some inspiration that lead to other things. And certainly, I was watching a video the other day with one of the Valentine detective agency quests. I think it was the Far Harbor one, and I saw the office and went, I would really like to build that office for some reason. So here we are. So we see what I've done. 360. We come back to the build. So you can see that just makes that building look a little bit different. Doesn't look like a square box that looks all the same. I'm just breaking up and adding some textures in, just to make it look a little bit scrappy. And I do this a lot with my builds. I don't like clean looking buildings. I like to scrap it up a bit. And these wall pieces are great for doing that. You just flick through and just experiment with this. I encourage you to do it. Here we go. Because what we want to do is we ultimately want it to look very downtrodden, almost abandoned, I guess. And then we'll add some other stuff to the walls a little bit later, to give it even more depth and difference. And you notice with the Valentine's Detective Agency there are no windows. It's really, you want to go for a really kind of dim lighting in it, and a very kind of almost for want of a better description, almost an oppressive look about the office. It's really kind of old school, hidden in a corner, little detective agency. So what next? Okay, better stores. So I think we might tackle this entranceway next. And this is probably where I go off and put my own style to the building now. You certainly, when you come to his building in Diamond City, this wouldn't be here, but I thought I'd just put a few different elements in, just to make it a little bit different to what you would usually see. There's no point in doing a build if you're going to do exactly the same. I need to have put a little bit of different elements into it. So keeping it again fairly sparse. I'm going to put a lot in there. I know it needs it, but just things that make sense. You know, a Nuka-Cola machine certainly makes sense. A little bit of a bench to sit down. And of course I'm going to, at some point, you knew this was coming, I was going to put my my favourite chain link fences in. So as usual, if you don't know about these fences, with this pole, put it in and then just click on it again, pull it down, and then you'll be able to click the next piece of fence onto it. Now there is a gap there, and I don't fix this straight away, but I do fix that going forward. But for now, what I try and do is I try and do a budgie and use these cinder blocks or breeze blocks, depending on what part of the world you're in, just to hide that gap. Eventually I do the right thing and move this all across, but I'll leave these in just so it has that look about it. But like I said earlier, I think if you're going to do this, it should be one building of several in a kind of walkway or an alleyway, and maybe I will do that at some point in the future. So by the magic of TV, you might have noticed we have changed locations. Sorry guys, but something happened with the footage that I had for building the upstairs. So given that I'm such a nice guy, I completely rebuilt this building so that I could record the upper level. And again, the upper level in Valentine's detective agency is not as large as what I've done here. It's actually considerably smaller, and again I'm just putting my own style and my own kind of look about the upper level and just expanding it a little bit. Why not? And I think it all adds. This could be the thing that struck me when I was building this. This could be a good place to have a player home, and you can see I'm really the walls are 2 by 3, so 3 across, 2, so 3 along, 2 across, and I'm only using these half walls. It's perfect for the look I'm going for, and using those where we were in the barn tab, I think, or the warehouse tab, beg your pardon. For some reason, when I was doing this, the snapping was being a bit silly. I don't know why, but anyway, we get there. That's alright. Sometimes the game does that. Just likes to wind you up a little bit. So all you need to do is get one in, and then you're good. And it's plenty tall enough with those half walls in once you put the roof in. So we'll put, just to keep this kind of, I'll always like this look where you've got these glass elements into the corners there. So keep that. It just has this different vibe. So I'm not going to do too much up here. I'm just basically showing you how the overall upper structure looks. Put a few things in as placeholders. I spent hours doing this in the original build, and then when I went back and looked at the footage, something weird had happened, so you know, it just wasn't usable. So it just was easier to redo this and just do this part separately. So bed in there, a couple of lounges here just so you can see, and really just placeholders. Just placeholders to kind of define the different areas. I will move that in a second, and then we'll get a rug. I'm sure you've seen this before. There we go. Not that one. I'm doing my usual trick of sticking it through the wall so I can see what it looks like. There we go. And I tend to gravitate to this rug in particular. I don't know why. It just looks good. And again, with Nick's upstairs, it certainly wouldn't be anything flash or posh. Well, I don't think it would be anyway, so keeping it fairly sparse. So now we have this area down here, and I kind of thought, what can I do with this area down here? It's just sitting redundant there, so why not put a kitchen in? So that's what I'm going to do. Simple, simple, simple. Only problem is it's not quite wide enough. And you can see the office is empty now. Look at that. The magic of TV will fix that shortly. Excuse my voice today. I don't know why, but I'm a bit croaky. Excuse me. Oh, we need to have a drink or something. And these top parts, which I didn't know existed, they're pretty new. It just perfectly fits in there. I like the look of it. There you go. Pretty simple. And, you know, you can decorate that however you like. Fridge in. So sometimes with these, some of these things, the collision isn't quite right. So just to prove that I can actually use the rug, I'm going to use the rug. There we go. So this is what I usually do if I can't get it close enough to the wall, or I'm having some issues. I just use the select tool and just move it into place. There we go. Just like that. See, I don't always use place anywhere. And there we go. And there's your kitchen. We may just put a table in there and be done with that. Really, again, just giving you the overall feel for what I'm using this space for. And trying to make it consistent across the whole build. That that table would be there. Come on. Come on, I can see you going green. Come on. There we go. Come on, let go. There we go. And there we go, that's a kind of kitchen. So now, here's the final build. And as you can see in the entranceway, I've added a couple of posters. Just to add to it a little bit. Umbrella stand, I think, would definitely be there. Let's have a look in the office. Not much has changed in here. I've done some refinement, but not too much. Your coat rack there and a light. A few things, but very much in the style of Valentine's detective agency. There is just crap everywhere, basically. There we go. Bit of a water cooler in there. I did that a little bit later, but pretty much everything that I've shown in the builds there. It's really just wall decoration, and just adding lots of little elements. You know, there's a bin at the stairs. There's a ladder there. Adding all little bits of elements just to sell the overall look. Let's go and have a look at Nick's pad upstairs. And again, lots of things up here that you might find. Certainly not the flashiest place you've ever seen in your life. And these boxes, I've continued the box theme upstairs because I think it works, and it would be pretty much, if you think how Nick would live, it certainly would work with how he would live. Lots of little pieces lying all over the place, but not overboard. And I think finally we'll just go downstairs and have a look at the finished building outside and just see the odd things that I've added to the building outside. The fence is fixed now, as you can see. There it is, all fixed. Yep. and a couple of signs. So thanks for watching guys, I've really enjoyed this, catch you next time.